In a quiet monastery, nestled high in the mist-shrouded mountains, lived a young monk named Kaelen. He was dedicated, disciplined, and deeply devoted to his path. Yet for all his efforts, a persistent shadow of anxiety clung to him, a constant low hum of worry about making mistakes, about not being good enough, about failing his master. This fear manifested most acutely in his attachment to a simple, beautifully crafted alms bowl. It was his first, a gift from his master, upon his entry into the monastery, and he cherished it above all else. He handled it with excruciating care, washing it with a reverence usually reserved for sacred relics, and placing it on its shelf with the precision of a surgeon. The bowl was more than just a vessel for food. It was a symbol of his journey, a testament to his commitment. In his mind, its pristine condition was a direct reflection of his own spiritual progress. If the bowl was perfect, then he too was on the right path. Every morning, Kaelen would join the other monks in the silent single-file procession down the mountain to the local village to collect alms. He would walk with a rigid posture, his focus narrowed to a single point, protecting the bowl. He would clutch it tightly against his chest, his knuckles white, his breath held. The gentle sway of his robes, the unevenness of the stone path, the jostle of another monk, each was a potential catastrophe. He imagined it slipping, falling, and shattering into 100 pieces on the unforgiving ground. The thought alone would send a jolt of ice through his veins. This intense focus on the bowl, however, came at a cost. He missed the vibrant colors of the sunrise painting the sky, the sweet scent of jasmine carried on the morning breeze, the cheerful greetings of the villagers. His world had shrunk to the fragile ceramic sphere in his hands. His master, a wise old monk named Master Jin, observed Kaelen's fixation with a gentle, knowing gaze. He saw not a disciplined student, but a prisoner. He saw a young man so shackled by the fear of loss that he was unable to experience the fullness of the present moment. Jin knew that words alone would not break these chains. An intellectual understanding of non-attachment was one thing. A visceral, embodied liberation was another entirely. True learning, he believed, often required the heart to break a little, to make space for a deeper wisdom to enter. The master waited, his patience as vast and deep as the valley below, for the right moment to guide his student not through instruction, but through experience. He understood that Kaelen's journey to freedom had to be his own, and the most profound lessons are not taught, but discovered. One crisp morning, as the monks prepared for their daily alms round, Master Jin approached Kaelen. Instead of his usual gentle nod, he said, "Kaelen, today I would like you to carry my bowl." He held out his own alms bowl. It was a stark contrast to Kaelen's. It was ancient, humble, and made of simple, unadorned clay. But what struck Kaelen most were its imperfections. A network of fine cracks webbed its surface, evidence of numerous repairs over many years. Golden lacquer filled the fissures, not hiding the breaks but highlighting them, transforming them into a beautiful, intricate pattern. It was a testament to a long life of use, a map of survival. This was the art of kintsugi, the practice of mending broken pottery with gold, celebrating its history rather than discarding it. Kaelen was horrified. To be responsible for his own precious bowl was stressful enough, but to carry the master's ancient, seemingly fragile one, it felt like an impossible test. His hands trembled as he accepted it. The bowl felt heavier than his own, weighted with the years and the wisdom of his master. As he walked down the mountain path that day, his anxiety reached a fever pitch. Every step was a calculation, every sound a potential threat. He was so consumed by fear that he barely noticed when a small child, chasing a butterfly, darted out from between two houses and bumped squarely into him. The world seemed to move in slow motion. The master's bowl tilted in his hands, slipped through his trembling fingers, and arced through the air. The sound of it hitting the stone path was not a loud crash, but a dull, final thud. It broke cleanly into 3 large pieces. For a moment there was a deafening silence. The child froze, eyes wide with fear. The other monks stopped, their faces a mixture of surprise and concern. Kaelen stared at the broken pieces, his heart plummeting into a cold, dark abyss. He had failed. He had broken his master's trust, destroyed a priceless artifact, and proven himself to be the clumsy, unworthy student he had always feared he was. Humiliation and despair washed over him in a suffocating wave. He knelt, carefully gathering the pieces, his hands shaking so violently he could barely hold them. When the monks returned to the monastery, Kaelen walked directly to Master Jin's chambers, his head bowed in shame. He placed the broken pieces on a small table before his master and prostrated himself on the floor, tears streaming down his face. "Master," he choked out, his voice thick with grief, "I have failed you. I am careless and unworthy. I have broken your bowl. Please punish me as I deserve." He waited for the inevitable reprimand, for the expression of disappointment he knew he would see on his master's face. But the master's voice, when it came, was as calm and gentle as the whisper of the wind. "Stand up, Kaelen," he said softly. Kaelen hesitantly rose to his feet, not daring to meet his master's eyes. Jin picked up one of the broken pieces, turning it over in his hand. "Tell me, Kaelen," he began, "when you were carrying the bowl this morning, was it already broken?" Kaelen looked up, confused. "No, master," he replied. "It was whole. I broke it." The master smiled, a serene, knowing smile. "Ah," he said, "but in the grand scheme of things, from the moment it was shaped from clay and fired in the kiln, its destiny was to one day break. Everything that is composite is subject to disintegration. Its breaking was not a matter of if, but when. Today was simply its when. You were merely the condition, the gentle nudge that allowed it to fulfill its nature." He gestured for Kaelen to sit. "You have been living in a state of constant tension, my student," Jin continued, his voice full of compassion. "You were so afraid of your bowl breaking that you never truly possessed it. Your attachment to its wholeness, your fear of its breaking owned you. You clutched it so tightly that you squeezed all the joy out of its use. You missed the beauty of the world around you because your eyes were fixed on an imaginary future disaster. You were a slave to a piece of pottery." He picked up another piece. "This bowl has served me for many years. It has held my food, sustained my body, and taught me many lessons. Today, in its breaking, it has given you its most important lesson." Master Jin then brought out a small kit containing a rich, dark lacquer and a pot of fine gold powder. "Now," he said, "we will mend it, but we will not hide the cracks. We will illuminate them. We will celebrate its journey." Over the next several hours, master and student sat together in silence, painstakingly joining the pieces, filling the cracks with golden lacquer. As Kaelen worked, a profound shift occurred within him. With each crack he filled, he felt a crack in his own heart begin to heal. He saw that the bowl was not ruined, it was being transformed. Its history, including its recent breaking, was becoming part of its beauty. The lines of gold told a story of resilience, of acceptance, of a life fully lived. When they were finished, the bowl sat on the table, more beautiful and more profound than it had been before. The golden seams shone in the lamplight, a radiant map of its past. "Do you see, Kaelen?" Master Jin asked. "True freedom is not found in preventing things from breaking. It is not found in controlling the world to avoid pain or loss. That is an impossible and exhausting task. True freedom is found in accepting the nature of things. Everything is impermanent. Your body, your thoughts, your relationships, this monastery, even these mountains. They will all change. They will all in their own time break. Freedom is the ability to hold things lightly, to love them and care for them while they are here, but to let them go without despair when their time is done. From that day forward, a new lightness infused Kaelen's being. The next morning, as he walked down the mountain path, he carried his own simple bowl, but he no longer clutched it. He held it gently, respectfully, but without fear. His gaze was no longer locked on the ceramic in his hands. He looked up. He saw the brilliant pinks and oranges of the dawn. He felt the cool breeze on his skin and heard the symphony of birdsong in the trees. He smiled at the villagers, his heart open and at peace. He had finally understood. The bowl was just a bowl. His life was the precious vessel, and the cracks, the mistakes, the losses, the heartbreaks, they were not signs of failure. They were the places where the light could get in, the golden seams that told the story of a life fully and fearlessly lived. He had learned that true wholeness is not about never breaking. It is about becoming more beautiful and resilient in the broken places. Right differently or more attractively,